And so today we wish to speak about going with the flow. Going with the flow. Because this notion of going with the flow goes hand in hand, if you will, with the notion of surrender. What are you surrendering to? You're surrendering to the flow. And in order to experience such a flow, you have to recognize and admit that your life experience, does not always go according to plan. Does not always go according to your expectation or even your desire of how you wish for things to unfold. And so this notion of surrender means that instead of clinging to your expectation of how you think things should go, then instead you begin to align with and harmonize with things as they are unfolding, especially when it doesn't go according to your expectation or according to your plan. The reason that we bring this message to you today is because there is so much joy and bliss and inner peace in living in a way where you're just letting things unfold instead of trying to control what unfolds. The part of you that is trying to control what unfolds, or seeking to control, or seeking to dictate how things are supposed to happen according to your little self's idea, your little human mind's idea of how things should unfold. That part of you that is seeking to do that is often the part of you that is deeply afraid. And so to deal with the fear of life, you try to control the unfoldment so that you control what happens, and so you are not exposed to something that perhaps has frightened you in the past. When you decide to live this life of surrender and live this life of going with the flow, what happens is that all of your fear and all of the parts of you that are seeking control in an attempt to suppress your fear, all of that starts to come to the surface. And so only, as we have mentioned before, only when something comes to the surface are you able to release it and work with it and let it go. But if you're just trying to suppress fear energy, by controlling the external and not surrendering to the flow of life as it occurs, then what's true is that you're still living from a place of fear. And that is in direct conflict with how your soul wishes to live, which is in alignment with your higher self, with the energy of love. And so when you notice that you're afraid, one of the things that we suggest that you do is take a pause. Because what you'll notice in your system is when that fear starts to come up, your busyness or your activity, either the activity of your mind or the activity of actually doing things in your external reality, starts to increase, meaning there's an attempt to suppress the fear through busyness. I'm going to stay busy externally by doing lots of things, or my mind is very busy, I'm going to think lots of things. Either way, it's the same thing. I'm trying to suppress fear energy through busyness. And this is very common. And it's one of the reasons why in your society things are very busy and very chaotic, is because everybody is seeking to suppress their fear energy through this busyness all the time. So it's very difficult actually to take these pauses and take these intermissions, because in doing so, when you allow that to happen, the fear energy comes up. And the truth is that most of you don't know what to do with that fear energy. That's why you seek to suppress it. And it is a very difficult energetic vibration to feel. So what is the suggestion? How do you deal with the fear energy as it surfaces? And the answer is, it's the same as any other energetic emotional vibration, in the sense that you just let it be there with the energy of mindfulness, or with the energy of compassion, or with the energy of presence. All those are the same thing. You just allow the fear to be there, and you just breathe with full mindfulness, full attention. You just let that fear be there until it starts to dissipate on its own. You don't follow that survival mechanism of busyness and trying to stay busy. You do the opposite. You create stillness and you let the fear come up and you breathe into it. And in doing so, your body has a chance to feel into the charge of that fear and then release it. One thing that will really help you with this process is to think of yourself as one who is sitting in a movie theater watching the story of your life on the screen. You're this observer sitting back within the seat of your consciousness, watching your life unfold in the same way that you're watching the movie unfold on the screen. You don't necessarily know what's going to happen next. Isn't that exciting? I wonder. I'm curious. I wonder what's going to happen next in this story. And realize that as much as your little self thinks it knows how it's going to go and wants to control the storyline, notice how that's not really accurate. There is something bigger at work. And so why not just sit back in the theater and enjoy the movie and watch the movie and experience the movie and let things unfold? Why not just enjoy it instead of trying to control it? If you were in a movie theater and you were trying to control the unfoldment of the movie, and you're in the theater and you decide to stand up and start shouting at the screen because it was not the way that you thought the movie should go, can you sense how ridiculous that is? But many of you do that in your own life when things do not go according to your expectation. You start shouting at the screen. Don't shout at the screen. Surrender to the screen. Let it unfold. Know that something higher is unfolding. Start to enjoy the process. Start to enjoy the wonder of it. This is the process of surrendering and going with the flow. If you do that practice, if you surrender to life, it will bring you great surprises all along the way. And of course, there will be some challenges too. But what we wish for you is to start to notice that within every challenge or within every struggle or within every situation that is not unfolding the way you wish, there is always a benefit hidden within that situation. And of course, there's always an opportunity for growth and for greater alignment with your higher self.